What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 63. We're starting today's just off with our fixtures for November. All 4 games coming today. QPR at home, Watford away, Wolves at Stamford Bridge and Brentford away as well. So 2 West London derbies in this month here. And on the back of our knockout to Arsenal in the EFL Cup last 16 on penalties. And of course our first defeat in the Premier League, humbled by Liverpool at Stamford Bridge by 3-0. Heading into this game, first game back at the Bridge since our big loss to Liverpool and 2 defeats in 3. This was a little bit nervy here, I gotta be honest. West London derby against the newly promoted Queen's Park Rangers team. Heading into the game, I was thinking, if we lose this one or just simply slip up, 1 win in 4, knocked out of the cup, starting to lose our grip at the top of the table. Yep, simply could not afford that. So heading into the game here, had to make amends on the back of the knockout to Arsenal. You would have seen in the week, I picked a reasonably strong lineup. Yes, there are a few changes, but for the most part, a lot of my starters would start the game. So heading into this one, psychologically, I was thinking, I need a fast start. I need an early shot on goal and see if we can open the scoring straight away. And we would. You know I love those kickoff goals, and 4 minutes in, our top scorer this season has got another one. Tammy Abraham. Oh my goodness. Brought him back from Arsenal in the summer. And he's got 8 goals in 10 games. Leading the way right now in the race for the Golden Boot. And this is why Romelu Lukaku is still sat on the bench. Chelsea 1, QPR 0, and the perfect start. You know I love those kickoff goals. They are so cool. You don't give your opponent a single sniff of the ball and open the scoring right from the referee's whistle. So leading by a goal. We also went 2-0 up right before the break as well. Kefren Turam looking for his first goal since coming in from Brighton. Smacking one off the crossbar as we still led by 1. But really wasn't in any danger in the first half. In the second half, I thought, just like the first, let's get an early chance straight away if we can and try and get ourselves a 2-goal cushion. Passing our way forward here with Trevor Chalobah finding Reece James as the Academy boys link up. Reece with a brilliant through ball out towards Kai down the right. Beats Nico Hermelen, the Finnish left back, and smacks it in at the near post, just like Tammy did for our first as well. You know, I've got to be honest, you know, when you go through one-on-one, and especially from a tight angle as well, I really do believe that going near post is the best way to find the back of the net. You know, goalkeepers in this year's FIFA, as we know, very, very inconsistent. They make an awful lot of mistakes, which, as I've mentioned before, I do believe is a good thing because, you know, goalkeeper mistakes are part of real football, so they should be in the game as well. But near post positioning from goalkeepers, they're beaten at the near post a lot. So when you're going through one-on-one, especially if you're at a tight angle like we were there for the second goal, do smack it in near post. I tried to do it again with 15 minutes to go here. Hudson-Odoi denied, but even so, sometimes they get caught out. You know, he definitely should have saved the first goal through Tammy Abraham. For the second as well, Havertz just smacking it with raw power. We won the game by 2-1. I would have been fuming had we not won the game as well. You saw the stats here. Absolutely dominated from start to finish as Kai Havertz scored and assisted both goals in this game here. We get ourselves back on track on the back of the loss to Arsenal, and we're back to winning ways here at Stamford Bridge as well. 2-1, the final score, and a big victory. So still 4 points clear at the top, starting the season off. And, you know, on the back of getting knocked out by Arsenal in the Cup as well, I mentioned it before, the EFL Cup does not count towards the objectives in FIFA. It never has, and it never will. But it is still a trophy, and it is still something to win. So, of course, this season, as there's no European football, I really wanted to go far. To get knocked out in the last 16... it's pretty frustrating, and it does cause me some concern because we've been asked to win a domestic double, and even though it doesn't count towards the objectives, say we ended the season as Premier League champions and EFL Cup winners hypothetically but didn't win the FA Cup, that would still technically be a domestic double. So knowing that one of the cups is already gone made me a little bit nervy heading into that game against QPR. We got the win by 2-1, and in the following game away at Vicarage Road, heading into this one, taking on the Hornets Watford, worst possible start. Emmanuel Dennis would score their second goal after I gave the ball away sloppily 33 minutes in, turning De Vrij and smacking it past Mendy, and we were 2-0 down 10 minutes before the break in Hertfordshire. And I was thinking, right, okay, So we had 2 defeats in 3, and now we're on the brink of having 3 defeats in 5. And it's safe to say the honeymoon period with Chelsea is already looking over early. And 41 minutes in, I was thinking, absolutely not, man. I cannot afford another loss here after losing to Liverpool so soon ago. So right before the break, got back in the game, 5 minutes before half-time. Mason Mount, amazing start for our number 19. Drills one in to make it 2-1. We're back in the game. We halved the deficit, and in the second half, couldn't really create too many chances here against the Hornets. Had a good one from passing out from the back. Dembele off the bench down the right hand side has Munoz to beat down the flank with the skill moves. Takes it round him, dinks it through to the goal scorer Mount across to Romelu Lukaku. And talk about relief. Yep, so late on in the game, Lukaku comes off the bench for Abraham, who wasn't performing too well in this one, and rescues me with his first of this season. Yep, first goal of the season for Big Rom. I gave him the contract extension. I said I'm going to keep him here at least for this first season. I still believe in the big Belgian, and he bailed me out off the bench there. Yeah, first goal for Lukaku. Gives us the point, 2-2 the final score. And whilst it is a slip-up, no doubt about it, God, as I said here in the post-match interview, it could have been a lot worse. 2-0 down away against Watford, and we battle back to claim a point. 2-2 the final score, and it's safe to say now the honeymoon period is definitely over, no doubt about it. We had an amazing red-hot start. Yes, we had a draw to Arsenal. We'd won every other game heading into that Liverpool one, but now just 2 wins in our last 5. Not exactly a great run of form for Chelsea. Already knocked out of the competition in the EFL Cup. Yeah, I've got to say now, this is what I was expecting at some point. It happens every single season. You know, there'll always be a little bit of a tough patch of form, but I didn't want it to be extended. So for the following game, after an international break, so needed as well. I talk about international breaks a lot. When you're in good form, you don't want them. You don't want an international break. You want to keep on playing game after game and capitalising on the good run of form you've got. When you're in a little bit of a struggling patch or you're not playing your best, international breaks are so useful. Nice distractions, nice time to go away and think about things for a couple of weeks, you know. That was exactly what we got on the back of the draw there against Watford. And for our following game, Bruno Lage, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Good start to the season for the lads from Molineux. We took the very early lead through Mason Mount, second in 2 games, opened the scoring and making it 1-0. And 8 minutes before the break, still up by a goal, passing our way forward from Edouard Mendy's throw out here. Tariq Lamptey finds the goal scorer Mount, and Mount crossfields out wide towards Mark Cucurella. Still in the first team despite Ben Chilwell now coming back from his injury. And as Mount takes over, back towards Trevor Chalobah, not forcing the issue, knocking the ball around nicely. Tariq stops Havertz down the right hand side. Luis Felipe waits, doesn't come towards him, so Havertz dribbles inside, finds Mount, there's Abraham, there's Hudson-Odoi, there's our second, and not for the first time this season, we score a lovely team goal with the Blues. I gotta be honest here, I've scored a couple of really nice moving goals for Chelsea to start this season off. There is another, and for Callum Hudson-Odoi, what a start for our number 20, 5 goals in the season already. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I tell you, he's gonna get more game time this year, and right now, whenever he does play, he's looking the real deal. So 2-0 Chelsea in control in the first half. Really though, Wolves would get back in at 55 minutes in. This was such a frustrating goal as well. I hear you sometimes, you know, Docs, put a tackle in, seriously, but I've mentioned before, it's so risky because of the AI's footwork inside the area, but sometimes you just got to do it, man. Enzo Fernandez just watched me stand there and said, well, if you're not going to press the circle button, Doxy boy, I'm going to press the circle button myself and find the back of the net, which he does to make it 2-1, but thankfully it was just a consolation goal. Got to be honest, didn't play especially well in this game. Wasn't really at my best. In the first half, I was sort of in control, if you will, but in the second half, it was just a really tedious 45 minutes. But the most important thing is we got the win. So once again, the win coming with just a single goal, like against Queen's Park Rangers. But I guess it doesn't matter how you do it, so long as you do. 2-1 the final score and a win there. And also as well, had to show you this. As you know, Kai Havertz can play on the flank as an inside forward or through the middle. I've decided to change his position. Now 25 years old in the game, 91 overall. But in this team playing at a 5-2-3, it is asymmetrical because I've moved Mason Mount further up the pitch with either Thuram or Kante sitting deeper. But for Kai, I'm not going to take Mason Mount out of the first team. Obviously, he's off to a great start this season and he's thriving through the middle of the park. So for Kai Havertz, if he's going to play on the flank. So what I decided to do after the player conversation is change his position to a right winger. He'll complete it in about half a season, so it should happen around March time, I would say. And yeah, for Kai Havertz in this team, he's not going to play through the middle again. Absolutely not. We've got a 5-2-3 formation. One sits deeper, one's a little bit further forward, and that guy playing further forward is always going to be Mason Mount. So for Kai, changing to a right wing just seems to make sense. So yeah, for the fourth and final game of today's episode, another game in London, and loving life in the capital right now, because it seems whenever we do play in London, other than of course the loss to Liverpool, we always seem to win. And you remember last season I had an amazing record in London as Southampton manager. We beat Chelsea when we were in charge of Southampton, we beat Spurs, we beat Arsenal, we had wins in the FA Cup at Wembley to, you know, win the FA Cup with the Saints. I love playing in London, and it seems to be the same this season as well with Chelsea. Taking on Brentford away at the Community Stadium, West London derby. By the way, how great is it that the stadium has finally been added into the game? Took a long time for EA to do it, but how great does it look? The exterior shots look really, really nice. And I mentioned before, if you're looking for a FIFA career mode in the Premier League this year, guys, Brentford, man, like seriously, give them a go. Now the real stadium's in the game, even better. It looks absolutely fantastic, and they're a really, really awesome club to use. Newly promoted to the Premier League, one of the teams that many pundits predicted to go down, but of course now it does look as though they're going to be safe for another season under Thomas Franke. Christian Eriksen is there, so you know you're going to love that feel as well. Yeah, and with the London derbies you've got, definitely give Brentford a go. But in this game tied at 1-1, I've got to be honest, once again, wasn't playing my best. But this is what champions need to do, even when they're not at their best, still grinding out victories. And we did that here in 3 of our 4 games. Yes, against QPR, we controlled the game, but still only won by 1, just like in the previous game against Wolves, just like in this game against Brentford. 3 2-1 victories in 4 games as Kai Havertz, changing to a right winger, pops up with a late winner with 2 minutes to go and gives us the big 3 points. Yep, 3 wins from 4 for Chelsea, and it's safe to say, whilst we haven't been at our best recently, a big little mini boost in confidence after 10 points from 12, 3 wins in 4, and a big one here in a West London derby against Brentford does mean we stay top of the table. And like I said, this is what champions need to do. Even when you're not playing at your best, even when you're not performing to the best of your ability, even when you're looking a little bit shaky, you still managed to come through the W's. Exactly what we did for 3 of the 4 games today. And that means now a third of the way through the season, we've opened up a 6-point gap on Leicester, 7 clear of Manchester City, and 8 clear of the Red Devils in 4th as well. Long way to go, third of the way through the season, but Chelsea, despite not being at our best, are still top. And that's what champions need to do. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.